Coming up on WVUA 23 News, more rainy days are ahead this weekend. More on the forecast coming up.
Now we're joined by Molly Starr. And Molly, how much rain can we expect here in West Alabama?
Hey, good evening. Well, hopefully not as much as they're estimating, but we saw some rain move through this afternoon, and it's not the end of this rain now. We have this photo behind me, and this is actually the shelf cloud of the system we saw move through earlier today, but we're expecting Monday and Tuesday to have the highest chances of rain, and those chances of rain aren't only sticking around for your Memorial Day weekend, but for the rest of your work week. But I'll have more details on what the rest of the weekend and work week looks like in just a few more minutes. Well, still ahead, we've got more rain expected for the next little bit. Stick around to find out more about your forecast. Well, it started off a really nice day. We saw those temperatures land back into those mid-80s for our highs once again, but we're starting that decline as we move into our evening hours. Temperatures right now all about in the 60s. Now, Sylacauga and Anniston over there still in the 70s. So what we're going to see the next few days is sticking around this kind of pattern where we're hitting those mid to upper 80s as our daily highs, but our lows overnight are falling into the upper 60s, maybe seeing some low 60 or mid 60s, excuse me. But then right around that 70-degree mark is what our nightly lows are going to be looking like for the next little bit. Well, speaking of what today also looked like, we saw a lot of rain move out today. We had this big shelf cloud behind me as our system moved through the day. It started over in Mississippi and moved right on over through central Alabama. Now, areas like Demopolis, they got tons and tons of rain. They also saw a lot of wind. Some hail has been reported, and there was a lot of lightning. We have some pretty cool videos and photos of that, as well as a really pretty sunset from the day. So, ironically, it started nice, a bit of a rocky afternoon, but a great sunset to end the day. And we can expect to see that the next few days. So, fingers crossed if we're going to see these rain systems move through, it's going to look like today. So, Sunday, again, you have some chances of sunshine, those high 80s. Monday and Tuesday, but more chances of rain is expected, unfortunately. So that system that did move through central Alabama looks to be almost completely out of our area. And that should be it for the night until about 4 a.m. You might see some showers move through. So when you're waking up, you might see a little bit more rain. Here's a better view of what that system looked like as it moved down. It just moved straight down the state and is headed on its way out the door. So your extended forecast for that rain, it's not going away anytime soon. We're going to see a lot of rain within the next few days especially, but hopefully by the end of the week it moves out. And that extended forecast with those temperatures, you've got, again, those 60s to 70 over the night, rising into about the mid to upper 80s. Now, Tuesday, after that big rain goes through Monday, we have a little bit of a cool off into the lower 80s, but it's still roughly the same system and a lot of rain. Hopefully by Wednesday, Thursday, those systems do start to move out. Now, with this rain, we're not having a lot of tornadic activity, but, you know, as we wrap up the tornado season and move into hurricane season this year, download our free WVUA 23 app. Keep up to date with weather coverage and updates as well as our social media platforms. Search Richard Scott, WVUA 23.
Well, what should people expect coming up in this Memorial Day weekend?
Yeah, I would definitely say maybe keep the umbrella on hand. If you have any outdoor activities, maybe move them inside just for the best. And don't be grilling inside. Let's keep that outside. Maybe put up a tent or a canopy.
Hopefully.
Or just an umbrella.
I know. I just cannot believe it's raining again for another weekend in a row. I feel like this has been going on for months now.
Way too long. Hopefully it moves out sooner than it looks to be, but fingers crossed.
Well, thanks, Molly, for that weather update. Now let's turn over to Theo Fernandez to see what's been happening in sports.
USA Hockey is through to the World Championship game of the International Ice Hockey Federation Championships, and this is really big. You know, it's Memorial Day weekend, and here we are. It's the first time we've made it since 1950, looking for our first title in 91 years. Championship against Switzerland tomorrow.
Okay. Well, that's all for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night.